friends, welcome back to my channel and part 7 and hopefully the final part of this panda. The panda was, the original photograph was taken by an incredible photographer. Her name is Manon Wellner. You can find her on Instagram. I will put a link to her account in the description box down below. So if you decide to do this painting, just send her a little direct message. Tell her you saw me do it here on YouTube, and just get her permission to go ahead and use the image as well. It's just kind of like the polite thing to do, since images on Instagram and things like that, you have to get the photographer's permission to use the photos as reference, since you're not paying for them. Okay, so I've been staring at the reference photo because in actuality, the canvas proportions compared to the reference photo proportions are a little different. The reference photo, the proportions are more like this, and when I drew this out on the canvas, I extended it down, by quite a bit, because I wanted it to fill the canvas, and I didn't want the top of the piece to be down here. I wanted it to fill the canvas. So as I'm getting ready to do the arm, I was having a really hard time figuring out the actual position of the arm, since you can't see it in the reference photo. But I'm pretty sure I've kind of figured it out, and I do think that the arm is wrapped around this branch. So this will be interesting to see if I can pull this off, in filling in quite a bit of the area that's actually not there in the photo. But I think it'll be okay. So before I can do this, I have to do the branch. And so that's what I'm going to start out doing. And I'm going to just start by blocking in some of the lights and the darks, and then work from there. So I've got both of my grays on here, both of my blacks on here, white, unbleached titanium. I got all the same colors that I've been using through this whole piece on here. So I'm just going to block in first. All right, back here, we've got still it's still pretty wet in some areas. All right, so what I've not been able to achieve as I'm looking at this reference photo is really getting this edge needs to be a lot darker. It's all about those lights and darks to make the stuff look like it's either receding or standing out or in shadow. And that is where I'm still struggling. Part of where I'm struggling is my reference photo is not the same size as my canvas, so proportionally things look off when they're really not. That's better. This comes down, I think, in a little bit more. All right, I'm starting to like it a little bit better. I need more gray, more light in here. So I'm going to use the neutral gray from Blick. Who would have imagined you'd spend so much time on a tree branch? But it's an important part of the look of the painting. So I don't want to wuss out on these. I want this to look as nice as the rest of the piece. Sorry about the way that I talk when I'm working, you guys. I know it's really broken up and I stop mid-thought. It's probably really annoying to listen to as well. But I can say that the more I keep adding, the more and more I like it. So that's a good lesson for me to not quit too early. Because I look sometimes at some other artists' work, artists that I admire, and I look at their pieces and it's like, how did they get that level of excellence? How did they make it look so, so good? And what do I have to do to get better at that? And I think that a lot of it is that they don't stop too early. They go, you know, that 1 or 2 steps further, maybe 3 steps further, I don't know, but they don't stop until it's finished. And I think sometimes I stop before I should. Okay, I liked the addition of that white in there. Let's put some of that In some of these places that the light would be really here. When in doubt, blend it out. Did I seriously just snort on camera? I think I did. So embarrassed. Okay, so getting good, getting good. So now as I'm kind of glancing up at the whole picture, I have to ask myself if I need to add some more warmth into this branch, because this one is quite a bit warmer, browner, more than gray. But then when I look at the reference photo, that one is warmer. The sun is hitting it more than the sun is hitting this one. But part of me wants to add a little bit anyway. So what would that be? That would be burnt sienna. Where's my burnt sienna? There it is. Oh, sorry, not burnt sienna. No, I don't think we want to go that red. Burnt umber. Burnt umber, yes, burnt umber. Let's just put a little bit of that in here because so see how awesome glazing is. It's just a really awesome way of adding just that little bit of warmth, just enough to make this look like it's part of the same tree, which is what I want. Now, I'm not a huge fan of what I have going on down here, so I think I'm going to put some darks back in again, just to kind of break up some of those brush strokes. It's just... This actually needs to be quite a bit darker if it's going to look right with what I'm doing here, because I kind of want these to, I kind of want this spot here to have that nice dark look. So I'm going to add some more dark color in here. Remember when I said this was going to possibly be the last video? I don't know if that's going to be the case now, unless I do all the final details. All right, unless I do all the final details on another video, you know, off camera. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit more gray right in here. I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to call this done. Or at least done for now, maybe, huh? I think for now I'm going to call it done. I'm not sure what else I want to do with it yet, and it needs something, but I don't know what. You know, and it needs this little. Well, that brush is not doing what I want it to do. Come on now. I wonder if I should use something other than gray. Let's try parchment. It needs a highlight right here. I thought I put that in, but then maybe I covered it back up again. I don't want it to be, darn it, okay. I don't want it to be that. Harsh. Okay. I'm almost done with the branch, guys. I'm sorry. I just got to keep working it until I'm happy. I'm still not happy. All right, so I think no, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm not. I'll tell you what ruined it for me. Putting that highlight in. That line right there. I don't like that. Nope, don't like it. Don't like this. Don't like what's happening here at all. All right, I'm gonna just I'm gonna switch to like probably double time. I won't break away because I do want to try and keep this video in real time. I do have a speed video up for this, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through all of this. Yeah. Okay, I feel much better. It may not, it was real. I know it's perspective. I believe that it's perspective, that this branch up here is further forward and this branch is further back, part of the branch, the lower branch. But it was just bugging the heck out of me that this was so much skinnier than this was. So I made it a little bit bigger, and I feel a lot better about it. I am good with the branches, finally. So now now I have to work on the arm, and I'm a little bit, yeah, now I have to work on the arm. So I'm going to lift the canvas up. There we go. All right, so I'm really struggling with how I'm going to do this, partially because there's so much more that I have to make up down here, and partially because it looks really hard, and doing it on camera is especially difficult. All right, so I'm just gonna do it. What's the worst that can happen? We just have to rework stuff, right? So I'm gonna bring some of this down. Because I really have to get a base coat in here. And okay, now his fur up here. I'm gonna add a little bit of blue, a little bit of what color blue? A little bit of like what is that, sky blue light? It's still gray. I mean, the color is gray, but I want to get this in. This freaks me out. Oh, it's too much water. It's too much water. I sprayed it too heavily, so I'm going to wipe it off and start over. I want some more blue in this. Well, I put some blue on my palette, but it's dried already because I just put a teeny tiny little drop of it. So I'm going to use Ultramarine Blue. It's not doing what I want it to do, that's for sure. So we'll start there. Let that dry. We'll build as we go. So this whole thing right here is going to be pretty dark. So let me just put some dark in here. This is just our base coats. So nothing to stress about yet. Then out here, it gets quite light. I don't want to go too light yet, but I do want to block in where those lights might be. This is one of those parts of the video where the disclaimer that I made about me just learning, and this isn't a real tutorial, really is important because I really don't know the best way to go about doing this one. And it's hard because I want this to be really soft. Maybe we just get these colors in and then see, he's got, let's see, this. I want to make sure that I make this look like it's a separate part of his hand. Like his, that's like his thumb right there, right? So that has to have a lot of highlight on it. All right, so here's my thought now. I said I'm going to take the black think just so that I can see the edge of the hand there, I might leave that a little bit light. And then get all this. All this is dark. Hopefully I can remember where to put that. You know, I'm going to mix some Payne's gray. I'm going to mix some Payne's gray in here. I don't want to, or maybe just use straight Payne's gray instead of black. See, again, I got to get out of that habit of just going for the black. This is Payne's gray, right? All right, hang on, guys. I got to make sure of what I'm using here because I feel like, yeah, it's Payne's gray. Okay. Okay, Payne's gray is quite dark, so I'm going to leave that alone so that I can put the highlighted edge of his paw there. Yeah, Payne's gray is definitely better. And all of that light that actually comes, or should come further out here. Like that. Okay. Let me keep going here. lighten the Payne's gray by just a tiny little bit. Well, that's not a tiny little bit, is it? Okay, let's get, whoops, how did I do that? I want to keep that Payne's gray with a teensy bit of white. That's too, it's wet, it's very wet. Well, I can tell already I'm going to start pulling paint off here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to dry that and then keep going. Okay, so as I was drying and kind of looking at things, I realized that in expanding everything, I did not like the way this arm was looking. It wasn't making sense in the picture if his arm was coming over the branch. So I added this little extra bit of black, and now to my eye it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna start adding layers and see where this takes me. I want to start by putting some of that little highlighted bit, you know, the edge of the paw. I want to get that in here, and I can always pull it. I can always, you know, darken it, but I want to at least get it in here. In fact, I'm probably going to have to darken it because we've got some bits here that are still showing through the canvas, which we don't want. Okay, and I want that to get really light hard to know what's right when I'm making it up. I do want that canvas to get covered, though. It's all right. We'll cover it. It'll be fine. Okay, so we've got, I'm going to put this dark back in again. That's better. That's not bad. Okay. Let's just, yeah, once that's dry, I'll feather that black over the top. That'll be better. Okay, so this part is a little bit hard to figure out what to do. Let's do some light. Okay, so I'm debating on how, like, colors, if I should put blue in that gray or not. I might just do the same thing I did over here and just glaze the color on top. So let's do a little bit of the other problem I'm having is that for some reason, when I go to expand the picture on my iPad, it keeps wanting to center the picture. It won't let me expand it to the bottom like it's done before, and so I can't make the reference photo larger and see the area at the bottom of the Panda. There, I don't know why it's doing that, but that's a bit of a problem. That's too far. I almost just want to speed through this one too, because it's embarrassing kind of to have you guys watching me flounder. I don't know why. I shouldn't be embarrassed. Okay, this needs to be darker. Since I'm doing it right now, let's get the shape of his arm. Okay, since I think this stuff down here is dry, I'm just going to go ahead and blend into that. That's good. I shouldn't be using black. I should be using Payne's gray. kind of feel like I still need this all to be even darker. So I'm going to wash some Payne's gray over the top. Then we'll be able to start adding all those little highlighty hairs. Some highlighty hairs in there too. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, or dry it with my blow dryer, and then I think I can start adding the highlights. Okay, here we go. Crossing my fingers. I think first thing I'll do is try and... Why does this seem so much harder than this was? Try and establish the top of this paw. I'm using gray, but I'm wondering if I should darken that gray down a little bit. Maybe it's too bright. So let's just go a little bit darker, and then we can always keep building up. Right? The palette or the canvas feels too wet. I'm still getting the hang of how much water. It might be that there's a lot of water in my brush too. That's very possible. That's okay. We'll do that. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of 2 steps forward and 2 steps back and forth until I get it looking the way I want it. Okay, let's just... I know that I'm supposed to be doing kind of bigger, softer clumps on the lower layers. And I hope that that's right in this case, although I sure don't. There's so much brightness on here. Light reflection, I mean. I want to do it right. So I will remember that these are just the first layers and not stress too much. Let's just get the direction of the fur going. Then we're going to glaze some other colors on top, probably the purples, and then we'll come in and put some more highlights on. Purples, blues. I might even come back and put more black on the top. I don't know. There's some hairs in here. So, yeah, I'm just going a little bit heavier now, and I'm getting that bigger clumpy look, which is good. That's what I want for the first layer. So now I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it better now. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Now, once I put more paint on my brush, I'm gonna I'm gonna lose it. Lighter touch then, because it's fresh paint. Okay. Then come in here. Okay, that's not bad. We're gonna have a couple more. Wow, okay. That feels like a little ridge of paint right there. I don't know what that, I don't know if you probably can't see it. It's catching the light. And I don't think I want to see that. But I don't know if there's any light color on top of it, so I'm just going to take some black. See if I can't just make that go away. And actually, all this in here would be extra dark. Okay. So I think I want to put some blues maybe on top of that. Before I do that though, I need to get this looking the way I want it as far as there should be a dark line right here, which is almost like the shadow. I don't want to lose that because that's showing his, I don't really want to call it his knuckle, but you know, that's the top of his, I guess it is his knuckle coming up. So then this has to stay a little darker. And then there's something here that's not right still, but I'm not sure what that is. I think I've got it too far out. So I'm going to come in and try and rework that a little bit. Something there didn't feel right. So we'll try to add that back. That shape feels a little bit better. Okay, so let me, this is dry now, so I'm going to mix up some glazing liquid because I want this to be very, very faint, and I'm afraid if I use water, I'll have to use too much water. So my glazing liquid is the golden satin glazing liquid. So I use a little bit of that. And a little bit of this purple, and a little bit of Ultramarine Blue. Sorry, I know it's really boring when you're not seeing me do anything. All right, let's try that. That's what we want. I might actually do some even more of that. Depends on how much of this gets covered up by subsequent layers. But yes, that is what I want. Okay. That's still kind of wet. That's probably dry enough already, actually. Okay, so back to grays. Let's see what happens. Sorry, camera's kind of right in my face, so if I stick my big fat head in its way, I apologize. Trying to use a really light pressure. Yeah, I can kind of predict right now that this is not going to be the last video. I'm going to have to come back and do all the final details on one more video, I think. Okay, so this, unfortunately, it's a yucky angle. That's better. Don't forget, you can always go back. Back and forth, back and forth. Seems to work best for me. Because these are kind of fingers, so these highlight bits, I think I want to be kind of separated. I'm afraid to blend. Oh, that was okay. Okay, I'm going to leave that. We'll come back and cover some of that up. Let's just keep going over here. think we're going to wind up doing several layers of these hairs, glazing in between until we get it to be the right brightness level. So I'm going to probably switch to speed and speed through this part because it's going to get kind of repetitive. And I don't think that you need to you know, see this part in real time. I think speeding through this will work out okay and hopefully cut down on some of the time of the video. Okay, I'm going to glaze some more blue over the top. Uh-oh, am I not dry? Feels dry. We have a long way to go yet before I'm happy with this. I'm going to glaze some black also back in here. And that just softened that transition. That makes me happy. I feel better about that. Let's get some darker in here because this should be quite dark. Okay, that's better. I wanted that transition from back in here to out here to be a little bit gentler, and I like the way that looks. So, but what I don't like are these really heavy brush strokes. And I don't know if I fix that by adding more of them or by breaking them up with some black. You know what? Not black. Not black! Payne's gray. Let's just, it's just something about the way that I did those that I'm not happy with. And it might just be that it needs more. But I didn't like it. So we'll put some Payne's Gray in here. And then start again. Not again, but keep going. Then we'll keep going. And I think I might try going up instead of down, which might be some of the reason that I don't like this. Okay. I mean, there's definitely a lot more bright on the reference photo than I've got going on here. So that just might be the problem, is that I just don't have enough yet. Okay, so I don't think I'm ready to start white yet, though. I really just don't. I don't think so just more gray. And I'm going to slow down because I feel like I was rushing. Yep, I was rushing. Is my head in frame? I can't tell. I'm sorry if it is. I'm getting kind of up close to what I'm doing here. My marks are smaller and as light as I can get them. As thin as I can get them by using a light touch. I think I'm going to switch to speed again because otherwise this video is probably going to be like 3 hours long. And we don't want that. Okay, so there's some things here that I'm really not, I'm not happy with, but I honestly do not know what to do to make me happy or to fix it. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of experimenting, I think. I think this is too dark. Okay, now I just don't know if I need to just keep going or not. It's hard to know if the reason that I don't like it is because I've done something wrong or if I'm just not finished yet. I know that this I put on here just because I plan on glazing it back, but I wanted some stripes in here, so I'm going to put some more hairs in here, and then I'm going to put the color on, and those will fade back into it and be much softer and much more like what I want that to be like. This I just don't know. Part of me feels like it's too much, and part of me feels like it's because I don't have enough yet. I don't know. I just don't know. Like there's some parts on here that I look at it and it's really bright. And so I think, well, I just haven't gone bright enough yet in some of those areas. I don't know. I mean, obviously I want this hair to look like black hair that's shining. So I want to be cautious about making it look too much like white hair. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Over here, you know, I'm really happy with how that looked. I'm not happy with this. So I'm gonna stop for a minute. I'm going to dry it. I'm not giving up. I'm going to glaze some stuff over it. Maybe some, I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see. But let me dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know why, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to mix some lamp black. No, Ivory Black, sorry. The one that's translucent. Which one is that? The Ivory. The Ivory Black is the translucent one. I mixed that with some purple. This is just the lamp. Sorry, just the ivory. I can't. Getting those two straight in my head. mix with the purple. That one, I think I want actual lamp black. Mars black. It's not even lamp black. Sorry, guys. It's Mars black. This is Mars black, the more opaque one. I feel like I'm so close to getting it right. Okay. Let's go back to the Mars black. I watered it down. I want it to be kind of translucent. And again, I'm a dummy because I keep using the wrong thing. It's bad habits. I wanted to use, well, can I remove it? I wanted to use Payne's Gray. So Payne's Gray is coming in here. I think it's getting better. Because we just want that brightest color right at the top. And I think I had started coming down too far. So this is getting better. I'm going to stop. I'm going to dry things because I'm feeling like things are pulling. And I'll be back. Okay, more lamp black. Just breaking this up just a little bit. Not lamp black. Guys, I'm sorry. Payne's Gray. More Payne's Gray. Pull that back a little bit more. Okay. So I'm liking this better, but I'm still a little unsure about whether I should add any more really bright. You know, when I look right here on the reference photo, there's some areas that are really bright, and I think that they should be there. So I won't know if they should be there until I try it. So if I have to glaze back again, I guess I will, because there's no way to know unless I do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't want them to be heavy like that, though. Oh my goodness. Seriously. Be careful with your brushes. Watch what you're doing. Come on. Get off my brush. I wonder if I should be blending. That way I get the brightness, but I don't get the heavy strokes. Okay. Let's try that. Don't really have to here because I have a lot of water on here, but I'm going to try and make it work for me. Again, I think that's what I was not liking about what I was doing, was I was seeing too many sharp strokes. Okay. See, I am still learning. Hopefully, eventually I will learn from my mistakes. So, soften this. I think that was the problem. I wanted those to be softer. I might have to come back in with some black. Not black. Don't use black. With some Payne's gray. Might have to come back in with some Payne's gray just to break this up. I got a little bit too much soft fuzz there, I think. You notice I use really, artistic, scientific terms when I paint. I like to make up words and definitions of things. I know what I mean. Okay. Let's try the lamp. Why do I keep calling that lamp black? I have no idea. I'm going to try the Payne's gray first. Right? Just can't. You know, I don't dislike it. I might have to live with this for a little bit and then come back to you. Okay, I'm gonna live with this for a little bit. I'm going to step away and come back. Before I do that, something has to get done on this edge right here. It looks unfinished. So let's just put a few blend it out. Okay, now his arm actually is, you know, here, so I don't want it to blend too much into that, into this darkness here. It has to have sort of a, I guess that's a little bit better. Okay, couple more things before I go. I want some highlights on the hair right in here. They're really faint. They're almost too faint. Let's try that again. All right, I'm going to shut off the camera. I'm going to take this out of this room. I'm going to put it in another room, and I'm going to look at it for a little while. And I'm going to see if I want to make any changes. Because I kind of think that I'm in a good place right now. Yeah, I do. I kind of feel okay about it. So give me a little while to ponder this for a bit, and I will come back and either say goodbye for this video, or I will, I don't know, I'll probably come back and say goodbye. And then we're going to have one more video where it's going to be all the little final teeny tiny little details that are going to happen. So I will see you in just a bit. Okay, so I am back after spending way too long messing around with the new photo editing software and so on and so forth, because I discovered that the footage that I had shot was, as I had feared, 2.5 hours long. So if you stuck with me through this whole thing, you will have noticed that I did speed through the branch and some of the branch and some of the front paw. And I'm sorry that I had to do that, but I couldn't think of any other way to make this work. So I am ending the video here. But one thing that you will also notice is I turned off several of my lights for this little bit of footage. And as you can see, it's made a huge difference in what you can see in the piece. The lighting just washes things out, and I just don't know how to get around that. So I'm trying to keep the area that I'm working on as easy to see in its proper colors as possible, but just be aware that when you see things that look all faded out and stuff, it's because of the lighting. All right, so that's it. I will keep this part short so that we can keep the video to about an hour and a half, which we did. So when I come back for the last part, which I was really hoping I wouldn't have to do, but I do, that's going to be working on all the fine-tuning of the details. And I have no idea how long that's going to take. It could be another hour and a half video for all I know. There are a lot of little things that I want to fix and change and improve upon. So that will be the last one. And that is all I have to say. Until I see you guys again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thanks for being here. Bye.